If you just agree that the Christian God created the torment nexus, I think that's a good start. Like if you're like, yeah, God created the torment nexus and this is where we reside. Decent place to start. But then it begs the question, why are you... I want to go down... We need to find a conspiratorial Christian who's willing to have the conversation like, is God actually the bad guy? Or do you think that you have been tricked into believing that what you're doing is godly, but actually what you're doing is of Satan? Yeah, I feel like we could unionize in hell. That's where all the leftists and gays go. I feel like you have better worker rights in hell. I don't think Satan's the bad guy. Hail Satan, dude. How can we be happy in heaven if a loved one is in hell? I ask Christians this all the time. Typically, the answer I get is, God changes me fundamentally and deletes or alters my memories of my loved ones to the point where it makes me able to handle the anguish of seeing them in anguish. Double anguish.
I guess the question that this person is asking is specifically about souls in heaven. Why don't they miss those they loved on earth who might not have made it to heaven, but might actually have been condemned to hell?
Yeah. When I ask Christians this question, like, while I'll get the answer I said, a lot of them get really upset thinking about it because they haven't considered it before.
And even
especially if they're like new parents or newlyweds, ooh, gets them every time. They're like, no.
Heaven, would we even know those we've known on earth? Or would be like tabula rasa, all this blank slate, wipe clean and start all over again and kind of meet new friends in heaven and not even realize whether we knew them on earth in the previous life? Well, that's not what Ecclesiastes means. We still have memories. I guess the hardest thing for people to fathom is, how is it possible that I could have a father or a mother, or even the hardest of all, a child here on earth, and still be perfectly happy in heaven, even if my mother, my father, my child, my friend...
Is he like crying right now? Like, is he getting emotional right now thinking about it?
Didn't make it. They went to hell. How can I be happy knowing they're not here and they never will be here?
So I think this is a good version of like, when, you know how like you mourn people when they die and it sucks, and especially if you're an atheist, like there's a, I think there's a real finality to it. Like, that they're dead in a way that Christians and other religious people like don't. And I really think, although I do think that like on the short term it might even be more, call it devastating or hurtful or whatever, just agonizing when you lose someone because of life's actual impermanence and our brevity on this mortal coil. But I also think it helps us actually deal with that. Like, oh, we're living creatures that die. That's a tough spot to be in. But I don't think Christians like really confront that. I mean, pretty clearly, this is a big cope on a few different things. We can talk about all of them, obviously, but a big one is definitely death, where they're like, well, I just I die, but like kind of not really. Like I don't though, right? I'm not gonna do that because I believe in Jesus, so I'm not gonna die basically. And it's just like, then why are you sad? And of course, there's lots that goes into it, right? Because like they on some level do acknowledge that that person's fucking dead, they're gone. That sucks, right? There's a emotional response that's buried deep within our ape brains that tell us that it's not good, it's traumatic, it hurts us when we see, it's empathy, it's a lot of the things that make us who we are, and it's just the hurt that we feel. They run away from it. It's weird to watch them process this kind of information because they don't really do it. They kind of like I said, they kind of run from it.
They must have gone to hell. Is it that we've just forgot about them entirely? They've gone completely out of all our memory, all trace of our memories of them? No. Remember the last judgment, the general judgment. We're all going to be summoned there at the general judgment. So, at the particular judgment, we're going to find out what our fate is.
There's so much judgment. Goodness. What's my fate? Because of the judgment. What a waste of life. This is not joy or happiness. This is a waste. I pity this man. I pity all who follow it. I'm also disgusted by it, but I pity him too.
But at the last judgment,
Like he's got to close his eyes and like watching him work through it. Strange.
the general judgment, every single human soul is going to appear, and the angels too. And we are going to witness the judgment of all mankind, and possibly the angels as well. And yes, our loved ones will be there, and we will know them. Sad to say, we will probably witness the condemnation of those we've loved, those we've known on earth. But when they are risen at the general resurrection at the end of the world, those who are in the state of grace will be risen with glorified bodies. And
Like he's not even talking about the subject. He's just like, well, you got to remember that we don't really die. I'm not going to die. We don't really die. I'm not dying. We're not dying. So when you think about it, I'm not dying. When you think about it, I'm going to avoid this.
And those who are in the state of mortal sin will be risen in the forms of monsters.
Monsters? Okay, so monster fucker era will be in play during the end times.
Hideous monsters.
Hideous ones? Ooh. Like, I mean, for some people, that's a plus.
Their deformed bodies are going to manifest their sins.
Oh, no.
Going to manifest their vices.
Oh, shit. My vices? Oh, fuck. I'm going to be... Okay, imagine me as a biblically accurate demon with... what are all my vices? I'm going to have definitely multiple arms. I'm going to have a even flatter ass than I do now from sitting around on this computer yapping all the time. I'm going to be... I'm definitely damned with an eternal erection for all my fornication and sexual deviance. My face will be a bong. Like, it'll grow into a bong and I'll never not be high. It's going to be nuts. I'm going to eat a lot of good food, but, like, I'll never be sated. Because calories don't mean anything in hell. Some sort of weed corn hybrid, yeah. I will, however, if I go to hell, I'm going to believe in God, right? So if I'm a Satan demon with monster powers, that's when we strike. We storm his castle.
And they're going to be absolutely grotesque, unlike anything we've ever seen.
Okay, so think of it this way. You know your child that you love? Grotesque monster! What if your kid was a grotesque monster? Would you still love them?
Quite a rude awakening, I imagine, for many people, especially if you're one of those with their unpleasant appearance.
My sin will, of course, be too much beauty as well. Who else is getting Cenobite vibes here? Yeah, dude. This guy, I think he just needs a dominatrix.
Certainly,
he probably has one.
To witness those we've known in life risen in this condition. And we will see them banished to hell, even as we are, well, hopefully, welcomed into heaven.
Okay, so final judgment. All the people in hell come up. The final judgment, which is after the pre-judgment judgment, there's going to be another judgment, sort of like The Voice or America's Got Talent. You make it through the certain rounds, Master Chef. All the people in hell, boom, up into the mortal realm. All the people of heaven, bang, down in the mortal realm. Also the angels. We'll throw the demons in there because I feel like we're going to have the angels and the demons because there's like a war, right? Satan, God, Jesus, etc., Holy Spirit. Then they all turn into monsters. The people in heaven just stay the same. Presumably somewhere they can see all of this. And then Jesus sends them all back to where everyone gets sent back. We don't even like exchange anything. There's no exchange. It's a terrible climax. Jesus doesn't overcome any difficulties and finally stab Satan or something. He's not like, this is for the desert, blah. He like pours sand down his mouth. I don't know what Jesus would do. There's just so many monsters. And now, did they go back to hell as monsters? Is it better to be in hell as a monster than it was to be just a guy?
So it's not as though we forget them. But our perspective has changed dramatically.
Yeah. Oh, remember that child I loved? Hideous monster. You must remember that God will make you think that your beloved child is a hideous monster. Don't we love him so much? This Christianity thing sounds pretty pleasant.
So much so that we don't...
No evidence for any of this, by the way, just vibes.
We do not grieve them. And the reason why we will not grieve the souls that have gone to hell, we'll see how they rise, we'll see their bodies fashioned, their souls reunited with these terribly disfigured bodies, we will see them plunging into hell. And we will not miss them, and we will not grieve them. That's a fact.
Because he's not really talking about it. He's just saying that we won't. Because God will undo it? So he changes your mind? So the person you are now is irrelevant to God because he can just... So that all this talk of like free will is a good thing, God rips it from you when in heaven so that is not to disobey him?
We will know. Because of the general judgment, we will know with absolute certitude and clarity God's justice in judging them as he did.
With your eyes closed. Can't even like really get through it. That's crazy. So I'll know that my child ought to be a disgusting, eternally tortured person for loving someone with their whole heart, but they didn't have the right genitals or something.
We will know that God was absolutely fair and just in his judgment of them. Not only that...
This sounds like something Satan would say. This sounds like Satan, right? Like if I'm trying to think of like who's the most clever fucking evil creature that's ever existed, it is the general voice of the book that we call the Bible. Like, what if you could just say one entity was responsible for the Bible, you would say that entity was evil. I call it God, but it sounds like the way you describe Satan, which leads me to believe, once again, that Satan is the good guy and this is God propaganda.
We will also know that God was perfectly merciful in sending them to hell. We will know that. We can't really kind of fathom that idea now. But at the end of the world, at the general judgment, we will know for a fact, with absolute conviction, that God was not only perfectly just, but perfectly merciful in sending them to hell.
Perfectly merciful in sending your child who you loved in life to eternal torment for a finite crime. I don't think that's how I would feel. Unless God changed the way I thought. There is no grand design great enough to warrant eternal torture for a finite being with imperfect knowledge on the situation. Just not enough. Especially when pursuing happiness, which is almost always what Christians have disagreements with. They're like, you're pursuing happiness the way I wouldn't. How dare you? That's a sin. Luckily, this is all fake.
We'll understand that hell is a terrible punishment, true, but a worthy punishment. And it's not the worst punishment possible. That God, in punishing the souls in hell, is not punishing them with anything that is inconceivable. If God were to punish sin with the punishment it deserved, that it would have an infinite punishment.
Hell is infinite. It is an infinite punishment. Hell could be worse, I guess.
And the powers of hell, as terrible as they are not infinite punishment. They are not commensurate to the crime committed. No one in hell is suffering what they really deserve.
Wow. So when you really think about it, your monstrous kid who's suffering every day should suffer more. So, like, how can you expect this guy to have any empathy for a human being? You know what I mean? Like, this guy's evil. This guy's evil, and his ideology should be burned from the earth. Like a pestilence. He's an evil person. He can say he loves people, he doesn't. This isn't what love is. The way that he has framed this. If he believes that the most loving being on earth does that, then what does that mean for an imperfect human and what they're capable of? And what he's allowed to do. Especially with things under his domain. An evil fucking ghoul. If we ever get out from under this, it needs to be really stamped into the fucking ground. This religion is a blight. And genuinely, like, on all religions like it. It's such a fucking shame. What a waste of humanity. On nothing. This guy is a raving lunatic.
To suffer because of the rejection of God and his love. And they know it too, as well as the souls in heaven. They understand this. But what will enable us most of all to overcome all of that attachment there.
The attachment. To call love for your child just all of that attachment there. Cool, man. No hate like Christian love, as I say.
Seeing God for who he is. Infinite love. And infinite goodness. And
infinite love and goodness. Do you see what I'm saying? Infinite love and goodness. Capable of torturing children. Sweet. All right, I just don't think any of you deserve any sort of respect in intellectual spaces whatsoever. This is bullshit. This is the society that we live in. giving this man some kind of like fucking credence, some kind of like we defer to men like this. Absolutely disgusting, abhorrent, vile creatures.
Infinite perfection. And when we see God for who he is, we will understand that he really does deserve all of our love. Love that we can't even give him, infinite love.
To just call it infinite love. He doesn't even know what it feels like. He doesn't love anything. He's deleted the part of his brain capable of any sort of like empathy or connection because he has this construct in his head that's been placed there since his birth, I'm sure. Since toddlerhood, since his prefrontal cortex was able to like help him navigate a room. He's been taught nonsense.
He is worthy of all the love we can possibly give. Even our closest friend and most intimate consort here on earth or our spouse, that love will so pale in comparison to the love that we will see in God, God's love for us and our love for him, that it will seem like any love we have here on earth is the most superficial thing.
Do you see what I mean? Your finite single life, your family, your most cherished loved ones, literally nothing, meaningless, superficial relationships that you could possibly have with the fucking construct in your brain, with an imaginary thing you made up. This is no different than guys leaving their wives for ChatGPT. It's the same phenomenon. Human brains are fucking broken. We are entirely imperfect creatures incapable of truly discerning our reality for what it is with our imperfect and limited sensory organs. It's so fucking obvious. Ugh. And this guy teaches this shit to kids. Kids teach their kids and so on. And then they just learn that they're worthless pieces of shit, and they treat everybody else like less than them, which is still a worthless. Like if this guy and guys like him are in charge of the world, and they fucking are, and he thinks he's a worthless piece of shit, and his family doesn't even fucking matter, what the fuck do you think he thinks about yours? This is the problem. It's the problem. Yes, capitalism. This is the problem. Guys like this, millions of them, billions of them. Guys like this. Mostly men. Women too, but mostly men. This is the fucking problem. You get rid of this, I don't mean fucking killing them. I mean getting rid of the ideology. Educating this out of our fucking people. Putting these religions in the margins where they deserve. Tax exemptions, get the fuck rid of them. Don't let them have the schools. Don't let them have a fucking public space the way they do. It's your personal thing, keep it fucking personal. This shit is child abuse. It's not a joke. And this guy was probably a victim of that system, but now he's a fucking freak. This shit is harmful. It's not different than teaching, and it frankly does teach them this. It's not different from teaching your kid to be a Nazi. And where do you think all the fucking Nazis are coming from? They're all Christian fascists, most of them Catholic. Where do you think it's fucking coming from? This shit. It's like a psyop that's such a psyop that it's like some of the people involved in perpetuating it are like totally taken by it. It's like Scientology. Like, you see this over and over, this pattern of human beings incapable of breaking out of bad cycles of thought until they're ripped out of them. It's not just Catholics. No, of course not. It's all of them. Protestants alike, all the Christians. It's fucking crazy.
And has so little power, little value to it. Even
his familial relationships he's talking about.
Even the love that people have by nature is so powerful. The love of a mother for a child is like the quintessential love here on earth. Mm-hmm. But even that love will seem as nothing compared to the love that God has for us.
Mm-hmm. They hear that and they go, oh, I'm hearing a good thing. Someone else loves me more than mommy? No, motherfucker. No. Like, that's so fucking gross.
And the love that we in heaven will have for him. Everything else will just...
Why don't you fuck him then? Go kiss God then. Go throw it out. Don't put it in my fucking face. Y'all go do that on your own time.
Just fade away in comparison to that. It is so beautiful.
It's so beautiful that I don't love my wife. Cool, bro. Ah, yes, the beauty of forgetting my hellfire-laden son, whom I love dearly. whose only sin in this whole world was loving another man. Frankly, if you believe in this shit, I urge you to hasten your trip to meeting God as fast as possible so that you can go have that great heaven shit you're talking about, and the rest of us can just toil so terribly on a secular earth without you fucking it up for everybody.
Can't imagine that here on earth. But then that's why the reward of heaven is so much greater than the punishment of hell.
The reward of heaven. The reward of heaven. I don't have my family. I don't have any of the stuff that I've ever known or loved. None of the things that I have learned to value over the course of time. Now I am blank slated, entirely new person that only values this new thing. It sounds at best like a heroin addict. No, you don't understand. This shit's so good. Like, what? That doesn't even sound like... Like, you say, oh, it's eternal life. Is it? Is that life? That doesn't sound like experience to me. That sounds like just eternal stimulus. What an insane theory to have for your fucking backbone of your... Ooh, I wonder what heaven's like. You don't even make it sound nice. This guy has never thought about it. Ever.
The reward of heaven is a supernatural reward.
It's a supernatural reward. Dude, his hands are fucked up. This is what evil does to you. It makes you crooked.
Of hell is not a supernatural punishment. We can imagine it and we can fear it, but the glory of heaven, the beauty and the love of heaven is something that is absolutely beyond the power of human imagination. Only
if I just say it's unexplainable, then I don't have to explain it.
Only there will you really comprehend the length, the height, the depth, and so on that St. Paul talks about.
Every time he closes his eyes, it seems like when people are like coping through like a bad memory or something, especially old people like to do this. I don't know. I feel like old people do this shit. I don't know where they learned it.
Ephesians, of the love of God. And therefore, really put in perspective, finally, all of this that we talk about here on earth, including the natural love we have for each other.
Is he crying?
As grand as it may
or is he just like wet?
Seem, and as perpetual as it may seem, we will see
tears.
What real love is.
What real love is. It just sounds like you don't experience love. What a sad fucking loser.
When we see the love of God.
Ugh, this religion is so disgusting. It just cores people like a fucking apple. There's just nothing in there anymore. Like, they're all so unhappy, too. That's another one of the mind-fucky things about it. I've never met a happy Christian, and I know a lot of them say, oh, I'm happy, and then you talk to them for a little bit, and they're just not. They're stressed out. They're, like, not able to, like, live up to the kind of thing they need to. They're constantly talking about all the different, like, oh, I fall short of the glory of God all the time. Like, they feel like shit constantly. Yeah, they're paranoid. They worry about shit all the time. Like shit they shouldn't be worrying about when there's plenty to really worry about. I'm a happy Christian. I don't believe you. Happy Christian. I got married at 18. Great. Like, it just makes me mad to see people just wasted. They're not even making the decision half the time. Like, you see a lot of these people, fucking, especially if they're like born agains or they claim to be. They're like, oh yeah, when I was 7, I found the Lord. Like, fucking, huh? Oh, when I was 11 years old, I really, you internalize a lot of that. Oh yeah, you can't not. There are very few Christians that come away with like the kind of confidence that I would hope for in a person. Like, I feel like a lot of them, especially after you tell someone God exists for so long and like, don't worry about it. You can just, outsource all of the reason and decision making that you have. Like, any sort of important thing can just be like sort of handed off. And then you take that away from someone and now they're like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. Life is precarious. Shit's always been precarious. You've been doing it the whole time. It's like telling someone that you've taken the training wheels off of the bike and they start freaking out, but they never really checked and the training wheels have been off the whole time. And they've just been doing it by themselves. They've just been riding the bike. But now that they're thinking about it, they're like, oh fuck, and they get wobbly. I don't know what apostasy is like. I don't know what like losing your faith is like. But it seems to be quite disorienting. And it seems to be the recalibration of like understanding your place in the world and the universe, and like your responsibility to yourself and others to act in a way that would, I guess, usher you toward happiness and well-being. And, like if you're not religious, you're not just suddenly correct about everything. But the mindset where this immigration is bad for us comes from religious people. And they use this propaganda at the pulpit. It works. They use it on TV. It works, and it's not different. Like they've been race baiting and using race to drive people in churches for a long time. This has been very effective, and like it's the same groups every time. It's who are the people that have always had power from the very beginning in the country? White landowning, usually Christian or Christian adjacent men. Right? Like some of the founding fathers were deists, sure, but most of the people that were involved in the country's wealth were white landowning Christians. And it only proliferated with time, because the Enlightenment was a brief period of time in the 1700s, and then they got uninformed, like hick-ass, like just dudes to fucking go colonize and pillage the fucking country. And you're not going to have the greatest culture spring from that. You're going to have people clinging to hope and dumb shit wherever they can get. And you know Christians that have the funding were forced to go into those places and colonize. And it was part of the effort, because they were trying to replace the Christian religion because they knew it would create docility in people. I wonder why the foreign nations that colonized the United States, France, Spain, Britain, Portugal, I wonder why they emphasized Christianizing the locals so that they would become more passive and easier to control. What about Christianity makes someone easier to control? Deference to a hierarchy is definitely part of it. And then if you can make that person believe that, then you can say, oh, look at us. We have, at the time especially, but even now, we have the church on our side. It was, the French Revolution was big about this. Like, we have to divest from this church thing because it's obvious collusion. It's just like another way to say that, like, your leaders are ordained to you. They deserve to be there. The aristocracy is rich because of course they have good bloodlines. The Clintons, the Bidens, the Bushes, the Kennedys, the Trumps. It's all bullshit, man. They're just fucking guys. So you don't have to be a member of the religion to be affected negatively by the theocracy you live under or the attempted theocracy. We all are. If you've bought into American patriotism, you have bought into the Christo-fascist worldview. But all our parents are too fucking stupid to understand that kind of shit. They're so fucking bought in. I don't know, man. The lead has really fucked them up, for sure. I don't know what the fuck else to say about it to them. The only thing you can do is talk to them individually and get them to move on one. Like, all it takes is for them to be curious enough to understand that they were wrong about one important thing that they really care about, whatever that is. For them to be proven wrong, for them to be not able to deny any longer the thing that they really cared about, whatever their issue is, that they were wrong about it. And then be like, okay, what else are you wrong about? There's not many of them that are willing to do that.